Well, hi friends. How's everybody today?
Doing good, Nicole. Before we get going, because there's a lot to talk about. Just want to remind everybody, if you're watching the show right now on YouTube, please push the thumbs up button. Right, we want the thumbs up button. The subscribe button's great, and appreciate you listening. We just never
Oh
really
yeah.
ask for the whole thumbs up.
Yeah, we love that, especially right now since you're sitting there and you have us on. Might as well give us a like. Helps us out a lot. Helps us out a lot and we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm looking in a square right now with a completely different person sitting right in front of me. Explain what's going on.
Well, I started my chemotherapy and I've heard it can fall out anywhere from like a week after your first to like a week and a half after your first treatment. So, my plan was to just go and just shave it off, get ahead of the game and just shave it off because, um, I think it'd be one, it would give me some time to get used to not having hair anymore. So I would be, you know, shaven with a little bit of hair and it was like a gradual thing. And then, when it falls out, it won't be so shocking. And my hairdresser, she's so funny. She's like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not shaving it. I want to let's just do a really cute short cut." And I was like, not sold on the idea. And she was like, "If you hate it at the end, we'll just shave it. Like it's okay, but there's no going back if we shave it." So I said, "Okay, fine." So this was the product of that. And I'm glad she talked me into that because it's really going to help me to know that I'll like having short hair when it starts growing back in. It's not going to be such a drag like I thought it would be. It's not at all. And I've had short hair before, not this short, but short enough so it wasn't shocking or anything like that. So it just, yeah, it is what it is.
All
But
right,
I will
so I
shave it. When this
yeah.
starts coming out like in clumps, I will buzz it because that's messy.
All right. So in 2020 with the pandemic, I went the whole year without cutting my hair. Like I've always had, short hair. And I've never had my hair that long. Like it was a pain in the ass for a guy, okay? Just taking a shower and going, it takes forever to get the shampoo out of your hair. And so now you kind of get to see a little bit of how easy it is for it to get ready. Like when you're in the shower and you're washing your hair, you're like, it's out already. Like, isn't it
Yeah.
much quicker just to be in and out of the shower?
Yes, it's really funny because I have very easy hair no matter what length it is, so I can't complain too much about hair issues because it doesn't take much to be, okay to walk outside. So my hair is easy, but I'll tell you when I first washed this by myself, I used entirely too much shampoo. I look like I had just gone through the car wash. I mean, I got a whole body wash from the one shampoo. And I thought I was only using a small amount, but it still was way too much. So I got a good laugh about that. Um, yeah, I was like, what have I done? So it took me a minute to get the shampoo out of my very short hair.
So it looks great. I saw that you posted it on Instagram, like you did a time lapse of
Yeah.
getting the
Oh, of the
haircut.
haircut. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long did just curious, how long did it take to actually cut it and style it?
Um, styling it was funny because I did some very crazy things with it. It's not very long. She really just at first went in and just started cutting the hair, and so she got to a short place where then she could then style it. I not long at all. Not I don't even think I was there an hour.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So a couple things want to get through. You mentioned the fact that when it starts to fall out. So I have two friends kind of in your situation right now that one of them, when their hair started falling out, they started chemo right before you, devastated, completely devastated, a lot of
Uh,
tears, and you feel terrible. And then I have another friend, starts falling out immediately, just clipped it and said, you know what, it is what it is, and dealt with it completely different. You seem like you have a pretty healthy attitude on it's just part of the process.
yeah, it's just a side effect. It's just something that happens. And I feel like if you get ahead of it, like if you're afraid of that, you get ahead of it. And like that's what I did. I don't want to see big, huge clumps of hair falling out. I'm sure that that's a traumatic visual, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yes,
um, even though you've come to terms that you're going to lose your hair, I'm sure when you see those clumps just start coming out, that feels horrible. So I just didn't
of
want to
course.
be I didn't want to put myself through that. The less I could do, The less trauma I can put myself through, the better. And also, it's a bit of a control thing too. It's like I'll control it
Yeah.
when the hair is gone, and when it's not, it's something I still get to control. And I thought
Yeah.
it was
Good
gonna
point.
be I was a little bit sad right before I went to cut it because I think, like, for me, it's just hair. I've always been daring with my hair. I've always had every color under the sun. I've had it long, short, medium. I've had it all. So hair doesn't bother me, but I did get a little bit emotional right before. And, I guess it's because it wasn't really truly on my terms. It was, I chose to
Of
do it,
course.
but it wasn't really truly at the bottom of it on my terms. But once we got to doing it, it was so funny. We were laughing so hard. Was like holding myself from peeing myself. Um, because of course, when she first cut it and it dried, it was getting really fluffy, and I was going, "Oh no, oh no, I look like Monchichi." And as we're laughing, and the more we're laughing, it's getting more dry. And then I'm like parting it down the middle, and then I'm doing like Karen hair, and we're all laughing so hard. And she's like, "No," and I was like, "Shave that off," and she was like, "No, you have to have product." The one thing about short hair is you have to have good product. So, um, and you know what I turned to is that Days of Dirt from Jason from Men's Groomer
Yeah.
that we had
Yeah.
on is yes, yeah, it worked really great. So it was like
Oh,
the
that's
perfect
great.
product. Yeah. Days of Dirt,
That's
it's
great.
called, right? Yes, yeah. Um, yeah, so it is
What
what
did
it
your
is.
kids say? What did your kids say?
But, they love it. They think it's so
Cool.
cute.
Good.
I've gotten overwhelming responses with it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna really like it too," like, blonde. That poor
Yeah.
virgin hair of mine that's growing in has no chance. It's immediately meeting its new best friend, Mr. Bleach. So I'll be like
So,
this, but blonde again. I mean, this is my natural color, but
yeah.
yeah.
So explain what you did this week because I had the timing mixed up. For some reason, I thought it was next week that everything got going with the new doctors, and then when I'm watching your Instagram story, I went wow, like it's shocked that you had already started treatment.
No, I started, Tuesday. Tuesday was my day. We couldn't start Monday because it was a holiday. Um, it's, I'm taking one of the most potent chemotherapies there that are made. It is the strongest one, and this is why it's every 3 weeks because the body couldn't handle it more. So I'm prepping myself. They're telling me Saturday is probably when I'll really start to feel the effects of it. So far, I really just feel the effects of all the Benadryl they pump me up with, all the steroids they pump me up with, and, the anti-nausea med, I'm on a really heavy duty one, and it
Good.
makes me a little drowsy. That's why this morning I was like, "Oh, yeah, I knew we were recording," and if I hadn't looked at the thing that said link, I was like, "Oh my god," I completely forgot, completely blanked. So, jumped out of bed. Um, I can't complain. I'm not complaining about how woozy I feel. Trust me, it's nothing compared to what I'm gonna be feeling. But all I can do is just fill myself up with water and nutrients and hang on tight. Strap
Yeah.
myself in and hang on tight because I have no idea what to expect. And yeah, my time has started. My time has begun.
Good. I mean, for me, I say good because it's step one to getting better. Did you end up putting the port in the whole deal
Not
like
yet.
we discussed? Okay.
I'm getting it done on the 29th.
Okay. Okay.
Before my next
Got it.
treatment, so, I'll have it good to go for my next treatment. Um, that's kind of a bummer, but, not using a port can be dangerous because you can get gangrene and stuff from
Yeah.
just injecting it into your vein. If for whatever reason any of the chemo leaked out, you can get severe burns on your skin and your outer skin.
Wow.
So luckily I have very big, strong veins. He had a lot to choose from yesterday and we settled on one. And so for one it was fine. But and like they offered me a private room to get my chemo. But I was like, no, I think I want to be with everybody. But when I first walked in, oh my God, it was like I felt like I was in a hospice or something like that. I was like, oh no, this is depressing. And as I sat down and was getting ready and everything, more people started coming in and there was more, life in there, which made me feel better. Cause then I was almost gonna say, yeah, I'll take that private room. Because it was just sad. It just was really sad. sad room to walk into. But I got seated around some pretty vibrant people, so I was thankful for that. And it went by in a flash. I swear to God,
Really?
between returning emails and text messages from people texting me to see how I'm doing and how it's going, it was over. And then the nurses setting up all because I have to go back a couple times. I have
Yeah.
to get 2 blood works done during the week, and I have to go in for hydration, IV, and all this. So, like, after all that, it was, like, time to go. I listened to, like, half of one song on my on
Really?
my iPad, and that was it. It was time to go. So, it kinda flew by. It was fine.
Good, good. I mean, you're handling it like a champ. That's amazing. When you're just curious, when you're in the room with other people who are going through it, obviously for everybody, it's not their first time, right? Some of them are in there for their second treatment, third treatment. Does it feel like a support group? Not at all, huh?
No, it felt very like, big disconnect. A lot of people were much older, which was sad too because they're really feeling it. You know that they're really not having a good time. Um, so the room as I walked in was all like older people. Most of them were sleeping or just looking really sad. And then I sat down next to an older gentleman who wasn't. He was like dressed up, had his cute hat, nice shoes on, and he was lively. And then there was a very young girl catty corner to me, had to be early 20s. I was just, she slept, she just kept falling asleep because it makes you really drowsy. Um, and that was kind of devastating. And then to my left was people coming in for their hydration. So they were like already feeling better and doing okay, or it hadn't hit them yet. Um, I had that going on. It's all blah blah blah. But no, it didn't feel like a support group. It just was kind of sad. But the nurses are great. And like I said, it went by really fast.
When you were there and going through the process, were you thinking in your mind, I made the right decision by changing your basically your strategy, your doctors?
Well, I knew that. Yes, I knew. I had already known that part. Um, Basically, what was going through my head was like I was comparing it to when I did the high diving show and a splash for ABC, and because I had said to myself, because I was so deathly afraid of heights, right? Like shaking, trembling, crying. I was so scared. And I said, you learned how to do the tricks on the ground. You just got to throw yourself off. You just got to throw yourself off and try your best and see where you land. And if I can do that off a 30 something foot platform, I was like, I'm taking the same attitude here as I'm just going to sit down and let them put it in me. That's my jump. And then the fall is there's no taking it back, right? Once you jump,
Yes.
there's no turning back. So you just do it and you see, you take it as it comes.
So you mentioned in a few days is when you're supposed to start feeling the effects of not feeling great, before you start to bounce back again. And I've watched that, and I think everyone who loves you is going to feel, sad and uncomfortable for you because they know it's not easy. Um, what do you have planned to get through that day?
Well, it'll probably be like a solid 6 to 10 days I'm down. Um And I mean, I've got a great support system behind me. Keegan got up and got ready and got to school like a champ today. She did fantastic because I was really worried about that. I was like, she can sleep through alarms. Like the alarm can be blaring. You could put a fire alarm right next to her and she would sleep right through it. So, really, those are the things I was concerned about. I'm concerned about having somebody come in and check on me to make sure like I'm getting my water and I'm getting like my protein drinks. Those are my two those are my biggest worries. The rest, it's just all on me. It's all on me and just doing my time and get to healing. But yeah, I guess my biggest fear is that I'm just gonna be laying here not able to move and there's not gonna be anybody to, you know,
Help you out.
say,
Yeah.
"Hey, yeah, drink this." That's my only worry because all my dear friends work. They work
Yeah.
all day or they're out of state, but they have jobs. So one of my best friends, Christy, she's a nurse. So, she's gonna come every day after work, but, that's not till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So grateful that she's gonna be able to be here, but what about all that time until then? I'm a little bit worried about that.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. Did yesterday when it was all said and done and you went home, like how did you spend your day? Was it feeling like, hey, that's step one and moving in the right direction, or was it a little bit of sadness?
Um,
How did you do?
No, it was like I get to mark one off, so there's
Good.
one less I have to do. Um, and it's really not fair for me to give any kind of judgment on it because I haven't gone through the rough part. I haven't done the full cycle of one.
Yeah.
Um, so I might have whole other bitch fest after because I don't know what I was gonna feel like. But for now, I just tried to go about my day as normal as possible. Made dinner, you know, did all my shakes and juices and concoctions that I do. Um, I went and picked up some guava leaves from there's like a farming neighborhood farming group on Facebook that I joined, and so I was in search of guava tree leaves. So I went and picked a bunch of those up and washed them and was making tea and just normal, just trying to be normal.
Just curious, I know when you first announced that had a cancer fight in front of you, that you had people that reached out to you that some you haven't even heard from in a while. As this has continued on since your announcement, are you having still people reach out to you to check in, or familiar voices from the past?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, wish you well and then you don't really hear from them anymore, but what you can't expect, yeah, like I would my phone, I wouldn't be able to handle much more honestly than the support that I have. Um, but just reaching out and just saying that, "Hey, hope everything goes great," one time is fine. That's more than enough. It's wonderful. Um, but my regular, my inner circle, they're texting me and calling me and coming over nonstop. So, it's everybody handles it differently. Some people don't
Sure.
reach out at all because they don't know what to say. Some people say that to me. I don't know what to say, and I say, "Don't worry about it." Because nobody knows what to say. And, it's all just whatever's natural happens. I don't know.
I think that's the biggest thing, what you just said. Like, people who might be thinking about you a lot, that you're like, I'm surprised maybe I didn't hear from this person or that person. They honestly are paralyzed by not knowing what to say. Obviously, when my son passed, and people said that to me nonstop, and I was like, I don't expect you to say anything. Like, I never held it against them, because in
No.
my mind was, if you knew what to say, you'd be working for Hallmark as the greatest card writer of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it is tough. And I started thinking back in my own head about different things, and I'm sure you've gone through the same thing too, where someone has experienced something terrible, and you feel frozen by not what to say. And I remember when my father first passed away, and people would say, "I'm so sorry for your loss," and it felt so shallow, like that's the best you can do. But I would do the same thing, like I don't know what to say. And so that, I hope your feelings are never hurt by people who you knew that don't reach out, but they're thinking about you because
I
they
don't
just are
think about
paralyzed
that.
by the fear. Good.
I don't keep a tally on who reached out and who didn't. I don't even sit there and think, "Huh, why didn't this person reach out?" That hasn't even ever crossed my mind. I just don't think
Yeah.
that way.
Good.
Um, because I know anybody that loves me is thinking about me whether they reach out or not. And I think when anybody reaches out at all, it's, you know, maybe you think some of the way they said it is shallow, but they're just saying what they think is proper. If they reach out at all and put that energy, I think that that is so amazing, and I take that to heart and carry that energy. The only ones I could live without are the ones that say, "Oh, my sister had that chemo, but she's dead now,"
Oh,
or you know, or "Oh, yeah, I just lost, my mom to it." Those ones are kind of hard. So my advice to me to be to excuse me, my advice to people would be don't mention the doom. Don't mention doom. Don't mention death or not making it or losing the battle when someone has just begun theirs or at any point
yeah,
in
you're
their
right.
journey. Don't just leave that part out. But otherwise it's amazing. It's just you can feel the energy. You can feel all the we love yous, we're behind you. You can do this. All of that is very powerful.
Yeah, everyone I've spoken to who has fought some sort of cancer has always said the thing that irritates them the most is when people share, their cancer plans. You know what I mean? Like what their fight, and how not their struggles and what they did, but hey, this is what I did, and maybe you're doing it wrong, and I would recommend this, and they're like, you know what, this is the path I chose, and you've been very um, concise and telling everybody of what's going to happen and what your plan is and your research that you did. You did a ton of research before you even started, but I'm with you. I mean, the fact that you've already done one round of chemo shows that, hey, I'm not a glass half full, half empty. The glass is overflowing. Like, I'm thinking only positive. Do not fill my head with anything
Yeah.
negative. This is just the beginning of my journey.
Yeah. And people mean well, they really do, but that's sort of the part where you go, "Oh, yeah, I might not make it through this." Like, it's a reminder that there is a dark side and there's a downside, and you're like, "Well, crap. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking about that." Yeah,
Thanks.
so, guys out there, guys and gals out there, let's leave the doom part out of
Exactly.
it. But no,
Exactly.
like, see, flowers just arrived for me right as
Oh,
we
how great is
started.
that?
I just got more flowers. So, there's just so much love.
That's
There's so
great.
much love out there. Yeah, it's from my daughter's partner, his mom. It's from
Oh,
his
that's
mom,
awesome.
and yeah, that was really sweet. So they're beautiful and they're lovely and they're cheerful and they're orange. You're supposed to surround yourself with the color orange.
Is
So
that
it's
right?
all amazing. That's what they
I didn't know
say.
that. Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
don't have a lot of orange in my house, but yeah. And then yesterday my daughter and I we made a inspiration board. Like we just wrote sayings all over and I put it at the foot of so I can see it on the wall across from me in bed. So when I wake up, it's there. It's her writing and my
I love it.
writing, and it's super cute. Yeah. So you just try to make the most of it. I don't know.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Um, just curious, when you went yesterday for your treatment, did you go by yourself? Someone drive you? Was like how soon after did you see your daughter? Is what I'm curious
Oh
because
my
I'm
god.
sure she was thinking about you all day long.
Okay. Well, my oldest was texting me, and she had to go to work because she was checking in on me. Um, Keegan was texting me, and then if you could see the four of us together. So my friend Christy, my friend Minnie, and my friend Paula, and myself, we came over and we had like a breakfast party, and I mean, we're like the 3 Stooges, the 4 Stooges. It's like no one knows what the right hand is talking about. Like, no, the miscommunication and the franticness of we're late. And I mean, I wouldn't have done it any other way. We were late, and my friend Christy, who's manic and manically worried about me. She just is, so wonderfully worried about me. And, it's like she needed to know all the names of the cancers and she's looking it up. And I'm like, or the chemos. And I'm like, does it matter? Like at this point, does it matter? They're like they're in a bag and
Yeah.
in a tube thing ready for me. It's too late now. But these are the chemos and just all of us going back and forth but we ate a great breakfast and then we all carpooled there together and then they said to me when I went in you need to have a ride home and I was like, oh. I got 3. I've not only got 1, I've got 3 out in your lobby. So yeah, we came in like everybody's there like by themselves or they have one other person, everybody's all quiet and then we just door opens, the wind's blowing, we're like, "We're here." Um, so funny. But they let one come with me at a time, like, and go visit, and everybody had to come in just one at a time, but it was yeah, no, I had a support team there.
Fantastic. That's great
Yeah.
news. That's great. When you came home, did you get a chance to watch Vanderpump?
Of course I did. Of course I did. I had to watch the, Eastern Time one, though, because I wasn't gonna make it till the, to the Pacific Standard Time one. Yes, I watched. Um, it's like the season isn't as good as I thought it was gonna be.
No, it's dragging. You're right. It should be faster paced. I agree with you.
It's all just like young, inexperienced young people um, caught up in their egos and drama right now, and they're not
Yeah.
seeing like the big picture at all.
No,
Except James, see that, but, but except James, who somehow keeps himself totally separate from it, and and I don't know. I saw that Tom Sandoval has a new girlfriend already. So he's obviously not doing that bad. And what did you what were your thoughts on it? I was
you know what's funny is I used to get teased all the time for watching any of these shows, whether it's a Real Housewives or Vanderpump. and I'd get teased by other men all the time. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? You know, and even my own son would, when people say, your dad watches, Real Housewives of so and so, and he'd say, I have two moms. He would make a joke that, I'm the only guy that's watching these shows. Since we started this show, you and me, and we're talking about, Vanderpump, and we're talking about the other shows on there, more and more men are watching that I know, who now call me when they're over to share, going, I wasn't a James fan, now I think I'm a James fan. My
Yeah.
favorite person on the show is James' girlfriend. And then they all have their different opinions. And I'm like, wait a second, when did you start watching? Oh, it's in the house, it's on in the house because my wife's watching. Sure. They're
Yeah,
watching because
lots
we're
of
talking
husbands
about
get
it.
into it.
Yeah.
They get into it
And
whether they're forced or not. They
yeah.
fall into it. Yes. I
I
know.
even have one friend who's, known for, I was just walking around the house and my wife had it on. And so I sat down on the couch and now all of a sudden, when's the next one? You know what I mean? They're hooked. They're just like you and me. They're hooked. So it doesn't matter. I just don't feel so alone now that you and I talk about it. And now more and more people are watching and talking about it. But,
You gotta
um,
own it.
yeah, I thought it was the interesting part of the show was for me when Lisa explained to Sheena Lala about her brother and suicide, and how
That's what
all
I
of a
was
sudden
just
that,
about to say. Yeah, that
yeah,
was good.
when that clicked in with those two, and you could see the expression on their face change, that you and I know, as because we're older, that what bothers you right now probably won't isn't going to bother you in a couple of years. And if it's too late or you did something to push someone over the edge, then you're going to have major regrets that you might not be able to forgive yourself for. So I did enjoy the fact that she shared her story. I like that it connected with the girls, and at the same time, we all know he screwed up. I mean, we all
Yeah.
know, and so I thought it was funny that, Schwartz, who's to me one of the dumbest guys on the planet, ended up being the smartest guy on the show for saying, I'm not throwing friends away.
Yeah. Well, I think for Sandoval, he's such a narcissist that and even through this that like I don't think he would and I'm not one to speculate, but first of all, he doesn't seem like the type that would actually take his own life because he's such a narcissist. But I understand where Lisa's coming from, and she's 100% correct. And you don't just keep kicking someone when they're down. You walk away. You let them deal with
Yep.
their own crap. And on the same token, I think that that's why everybody's still so mad at him because he's still such a narcissist and does not think that this is a big deal. He'll pretend crocodile tears for a minute and say, "I'm so sorry," da, da, da. But he's not. You can tell. You can tell when the other things he says where he's like, "Everybody's done it. Oh, just this," and it's like it's that part that I don't think that they're seeing true regret from
Yeah.
him. I think that's what's fueling them, and that's a lot of what we're not seeing. I think they probably see a lot more of it. I can see it. I can see that he doesn't have regret. And that part is what keeps these people his enemies. But like you said, what bothers you now is not going to bother you in a few years, and especially when you realize that you weren't even directly affected. It wasn't
Exactly.
your relationship. You shouldn't have been part of a team against somebody when, it really didn't affect you. It's between them. And she's just not letting go. She just doesn't want him to get any grace or any mercy. Ariana,
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, she doesn't want
Oh
him to
no.
have any mercy, which
No,
she's
not at
allowed to
all.
feel like that, but to put those demands on other people, it's like those people that you have that are in a relationship and they're like, "Oh, can you friend my boyfriend, whatever, my partner, can you friend them?" And then as soon as they're in a fight or something, they're like, "Can you unfollow them?" No. I'm I cannot. That's why I don't even follow now in the first place. No, I'm just saying no right off the bat. I've learned already. No, I'm not. So,
you ever been you ever been put in a situation where, I've seen it a couple different ways. One is where a group of friends break up and you have to pick a side. You have to go, shoot, who am I friends with? Am I friends with the guy? Am I friends with the girl or whatever? It doesn't matter the relationship, but you know what I mean? You have to pick a side. And then the one where someone breaks up and then you say exactly what you've always felt about their partner, and then they get back together,
back
and
together
then
and then they
now
tell
you're
them.
out. Yeah, now you're out because you're like, hey, remember when you told me? Like it is one of those that you really have to watch your step. Like in our mind, we might, be in a situation we can't stand the person that someone is with, but when we get an opportunity to just let it go, okay, now I can tell you what I've always thought, and then they get back together and they're like, all right, I just lost a friendship because I said what
Yeah.
I thought. You ever
No,
been
you're
in?
right.
I've had it happen to me before, and then I was like, all right, I'm never doing that again.
I really try to stay out of it, all of it. I'm there, like, for whoever wants to talk, I'll be a listen, but I really try not to get involved in that kinda stuff. I really
Me
because
too.
I watch it. I watch that happen all the time, and then also you're like, if someone's in a really bad relationship and then they go back to it, you're like, "Well, you're an idiot." So,
Exactly. And
you
then I
aren't
started to go,
somebody
what's
that I
wrong with
wanna
me? Then I'm
be
friends
like,
with that idiot. Yeah.
"Yeah, right. Did I ever ask you for advice? Because, boy, let me rethink that." Um, you know? Yeah. It
No,
doesn't look good
exactly
for
right.
anybody. Yeah,
No,
I know.
that is funny. No, I was that's weird too though when you have friends and they get divorced and now you have to pick a side. And that's always kind of
I really
strange, you know?
haven't had luckily, I haven't really been in that because I really try to maintain whoever I was friends with first. I try to just keep
Yeah.
that friendship close all the time and not get too close to the other person anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just my natural instinct. Yeah, because all of that can be very, very messy. Very
Yeah.
messy.
No,
Um, yeah,
absolutely right.
but I do have a product alert. Product
Good.
alert, product alert. Okay, one of the things of waiting for prescriptions to be filled in CVS. One of the downfalls, you go shopping. Um, but I found this. It's the Neutrogena. I still can't get the hang of how you do this with this light. Okay,
I
there
know I
we go.
was messing it up. Okay.
Neutrogena Glow Perfection pen. I got Fair. It's the lightest one, but it's like the old school Laura Mercier with the push and the brush on the end, and I always love those kind of applications. I know that Neutrogena was sort of looked down on for a while because they weren't using the best ingredients, but I think that they've changed it up a little bit. And anyways, I've been looking for a good concealer, and my go-to is Clos de Peau, but it's like $90 for a little stick, but it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's really the best. I used to buy it in Canada all the time when I was there when it was cheaper, but I don't make as many visits to Canada anymore, so I pay full price. Um, but this was great because it's super moisturizing. I put it on every I just usually tend to not wear, any kind of concealer because it literally just enhances my wrinkles. It's like, "Here we are." My smile lines right here. It just gets in them and it cakes out, and this one did not. This one, so far so good, and, I love that. So, especially even most of them crease on my young one. So I know that it's not only just us of a certain age, but I know that us of a certain age are more conscious about it. So yeah,
Yeah.
the Neutrogena Glow Perfector pen, give it a try. And when you buy it at CVS, if you hate it, you can take it back. So no
Perfect.
harm, no foul. Yeah, no big loss. You can return it. So yeah, loving that if you are in the market for a concealer.
There you go. All
Yeah.
right. Hey, I want to mention today's mailbag again, perfectlytwistedpod.com. If you have a question for Nicole, all you have to do is go to the top of the page and there's Nicole's mailbag. You can ask your questions. We're getting them coming in, and as I said, we're gonna start firing through these as quick as we can. And depending how Nicole's feeling is how we'll guarantee if we're going to do a show every single week. But you're a trooper for yesterday and being here today. So I tip my hat to you that you're here. So I'm glad you're here.
Thanks.
I have 5 questions from Lizzie Witt, who is in Nicole. First one is I'm very curious to this one. Do you have a favorite comfort movie or TV show?
Oh, well, I think I've said this before, but I really like watching Below Deck because
Yeah,
it's like the setting is gorgeous. It's all my happy places, those blue waters and those islands, the super yacht. I'm all here for it. And then it adds in like the silly drama with these young adults on the show, and I love watching the chefs, and I love watching that whole dynamic. So I can put any season, any episode of Below Deck on and let it roll, and I feel good. It's comforting for me, and I know that's crazy. You don't have to tell me. I know that's crazy, but it is. But mostly music is my comfort place. I'll just
okay.
put on I play music more than watching something for comfort.
Do you have a favorite movie? Do you have one that stands out? You go, okay, that's favorite movie or top 5 favorite movie, or you don't change the channel if you're flipping through the channels and you see so and so's on and go, I'm not going to change it.
I can't really think of one. I like a lot of movies, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of favorites. Also, I'm pretty hopped up on meds, so, my brain is a little foggy, so forgive me. I know there must be, but not really, I hate to say it, but I don't have a real big attention span. I love anything Wes Anderson.
Okay.
I those oh my god, that's my favorite. Not Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson is the horror film, right?
Yeah.
No, not telling you. I am telling you. Um, okay. I
Drawing a blank.
honestly am so groggy. I can't think,
Yeah.
but, there is a favorite filmmaker I have. I will get back to you on that one.
Okay.
I can't think of names. I can't think of anything right now. I'm really, really woozy, so forgive me.
No problem. We'll fire on to the next one.
Okay.
Nicole, do you watch the Olympics? And if so, what is your favorite event to watch? You don't
I
watch
do
the
not.
Olympics at all?
I do not watch the Olympics. No. I'm
Summer or
not into
winter and
sports.
ice
I'm not
skating?
no,
No.
nothing.
I always find it interesting whenever it's the Winter Olympics and there's ice skating, and then if you go to your local ice rink, it is just packed with women who think I can do that too. And you're like, you cannot
No.
do that. Yeah,
No. No. I used
yeah,
to figure skate when I was younger. So for me to go ice skating now, it's like, oh, um, I know I'm incapable. I know there's not a chance. I do like some of the snowboarding stuff, but no, I can't say that I watch the Olympics. I do not.
Yeah, it's one of those that when you and I were younger was a bigger deal. Now the Olympic ratings go way down. Like people
Do
don't
they?
watch the
Yeah.
Olympics or don't care the way they used to care. But I know when you and I were younger, and the United States hated Russia, and Russia hated the United States, and there's a big thing in the early '80s where we aren't showing up if Russia's there. That whole deal. It was a big deal. I mean, hell, they even did a Rocky Four was about fighting the Russians. And then nowadays people just don't pay attention to it as much. I know the rights fees are still insane, but people aren't watching the Olympics the way they used to.
Oh.
Nicole, if you could go back in time and choose your name, would you keep Nicole or would you choose something else?
Ah. Um, that's a hard question. You know, I guess I would keep it.
You got
I
a
never
great
thought
name.
about that.
I
Yeah,
would
I
have been
never thought about
disappointed
it.
if I would have been really disappointed if you said you would have changed your name. Like,
I
I
don't
think you have
think
a great
so.
name.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, it's funny because my parents had agreed on naming me Justina, and, but my mom was reading a book while she was in the hospital, apparently. This is a story I received. I wasn't there to attest to any of it, but this is what I have heard. Um, she agreed to Justina and then was reading a book, and, like, there was this, like, beautiful brunette girl, woman, Nicole, and my son when they came in and asked what they were gonna name my mom goes, "Nicole," and my dad was like, "What? Where did that come from?" And he hated it, he didn't like it. Um, so he always called me Nikki, and he's like, "What, Cola, Coca-Cola?" He kept
Oh
saying
no.
things like that, and I was like, "Okay, all right, we get it, you hate the name." Um, but no, no, I can't even imagine being in it. I don't even think about that now. And listen, I have no say in it. I guess you do. You can you can change your
Yeah.
name. My daughter, Dylan, legally changed her name, but it was her last name. So, yeah, I don't think you change what you're given, but unless your parent named you some stripper name, then I get it if you want to change it. Then I get
That'd
it.
be tough. That'd be
Yeah.
tough. Yeah. All right, Nicole, what has been your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn?
We had this question already.
Yeah, but
Um,
she might have not heard it.
I was Miss Piggy. I was I have 2. One of them was Miss Piggy, and it was back in the day when they, like, made those plastic masks that had the elastic band, and then it had this l long fake blonde hair, but my mom made me a dress, a lavender satin, like, little gown like Miss Piggy's, her classic purple gown that she wears, and, I had these, like, little silver dress-up high heel shoes that she got in Europe, because they didn't make them here in those days for kids, and, I was obsessed with it. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. And then my other favorite was, I was a dead nun.
A
I was a
dead
dead nun,
nun?
we did a prosthetics of, like, a
Oh my
slit
god.
throat. It was
Oh my
really
god.
great.
Oh my
I
god.
just saw pictures of it the other day. I was digging through something for the documentary, and I was searching through one of my bins of thousands of pictures, and I saw it, and I was just like, oh my God, we were so twisted. Yeah.
How old were you? How old were you when you did that one?
Oh, I was I was
Oh
pregnant.
my
I was
gosh.
19. I forgot. I left that part out. I forgot about that part.
That's a big one.
I was a dead pregnant nun with her throat slit. Yeah, I had sick sense of humor for sure. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. And the dad dressed as a dead priest. So we were
Oh my goodness.
the priest and the dead pregnant nun. Yeah.
Oh
So I
wow.
was old enough to know better. I was 25.
I was old enough to know better. It's always the best line right there. I was
Yeah,
old enough to know better.
I was.
All right, final one from Lizzie. Nicole, what is the worst fashion trend of all time?
Um, I think the mom jeans.
Yeah,
I
what
have
the
to
hell?
say the mom jeans. And I love a high-waisted pant, and I love different shapes on pants. It's when those pockets are in a funny place, girls. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how curvy or skinny you are with your cute little figures. Those jeans take it all away. They
Yeah.
immediately erase your cute bum. They are the worst. Um, it's literally the worst fashion trend ever. There's nothing else that I can even think that comes
Were they
close to it.
comfortable at least? Were they comfortable?
I didn't never wear them.
Okay, sorry.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know. I've never worn mom jeans. No, have always hated those. And it's all in the pockets, girls. The front can look one way, the back is a whole different story on the back. You got a whole nother book in the back. Um, But those pockets, when they're in that funny mom place, it's no, you don't want that. You don't want that. You can wear high waisted, you can wear the cool shapes, but check the pockets in the back.
Oh, that is funny. That is
Yeah.
funny. Lizzie, thank you so much for those 5 questions. Again, all
Thanks,
you have to
Lizzie.
do is go to perfectlytwistedpod.com. You could look at Nicole's mailbag and get those questions in, but I appreciate those. I can't believe how sick you were in the Halloween.
Yeah. I've been dead brides that were pretty cool too. And in
Yeah,
fact, when I was the dead bride, or I was like a vampire bride, that's what I was. A vampire was like dead makeup. I had never been hit on so much in my whole life. I swear to God. That was like it was insane how hard I was hit on that night. I was like, wow, this works. This is working.
Can you imagine that was your permanent look? You just do it every day. You just like
I know.
going as the dead bread. That's it.
I'll just call it
That's the way.
goth. Yeah, I'm just goth.
That's the way it goes. That's so funny. Nicole, really appreciate that you stepped in today.
Yeah,
It says a
thank
lot.
you. No,
And I
I'm
know,
glad to be here, and I'm gonna get back to you with my, my favorite director cinematographer because he's so amazing, writer, and I just apologize for my brain fart.
no big
I'm
deal at
so
all.
proud of you. Yeah,
Best of luck this week, as we know the next couple days are going to be extremely tough.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
but, that's it. I'll be thinking of you guys, and, I will be back as soon as I can.
perfect. Thanks.
Bye.